it's time for math. Today we're going to keep going with counting coins. We've been adding coins. Yesterday I had you add up coins. You did great. Those of you who did it. I still need the work from the rest of you. Thank you. And you've been doing a good job adding coins. You can count coins too. You can add up coins by counting them. Now the easiest, of course, is with pennies. How many cents do we have with pennies? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cents, because each penny is worth 1 cent. But we can also add up nickels by counting them. Well, what's the trick? Well, the nickel is worth how many cents? 5. So with pennies, which are worth 1 cent, you can get the total cents by counting by ones. That's how we normally count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What about nickels? Nickels are worth 5, so you can still add up the nickels by counting, but you have to step count by, can you guess? 5, the value of the nickel. Let's try this. It's worth 5, so we're going to start with 5, 10, 15. 5 plus 5 plus 5 equals 15. So we can count nickels by step counting them. So does that work with other coins? Let's see. What is this first off? This is a dime. How many cents is a dime worth? 10. A dime is 10 cents. So let's try this. Now maybe some of you aren't great at counting by tens yet. I know some of you are. I haven't heard all of you do it. But if you don't know how to count by tens, it's time to learn. So let's try it though. 10, 20, 30. 10 plus 10 plus 10 equals 30. That is how we count our cents. Instead of going through all the trouble of adding, we can just step count our way up. Let's look at these coins here. How much money is this? Well, it's 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5 plus 5. Now if we step count this, 10, 20, 30, what do we have to do here? But now we're step counting, so we're not going by tens anymore because this is a nickel, right? So next, 35, what's 5 more than 30 is 35, 40. And that is the tricky part about counting coins. That is where most people have their problems, is they finish counting their dimes, then they get to the nickels and they keep counting by tens. You have to know where to switch. But we're not going to worry about that right now, because right now we're just going to focus on the step counting itself. And you can worry about the switching later with Miss Melissa if she decides to do that with you before the summer's over, before summer starts. So we're going to practice our counting. Now, like I said, if you don't know how to count by fives or by tens, this is where you learn. If you do, this is where you practice. Let's start with our fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. Why do you suppose we stopped at 100? Because when you're counting coins, you only have to go up to 100. Why? Because when you get to 100, you have what's worth 100 cents. We talked about this the other day. $1. Once you get to 100 cents, that's not cents, you're not dealing with cents anymore, and it becomes $1. So it goes 98, 99, $1. So you only have to go to 100, and then you start over again. Let's try this with the dimes. Counting by tens is actually easier because there's only one ending. It always ends in a 0, and there's only 10 of them in 100. So let's try it together. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So what do you notice there? It's just like counting by ones. Well, it looks like counting by ones, except there's a 0 after the number, right? but it sounds a little like counting ones. Instead of 2, we say 20. Instead of 3, we say 30. Instead of 4, we say 40. Instead of 5, we say 50. Instead of 6, we say 60, 70, 80, 90, and then instead of 10, we have 100. Okay, let's practice that with me. Tens first. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And now fives. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 75, 80, 85, 90, 95, 100. And that's what there is to it. And there's also one more coin though, isn't there? Quarters. Now quarters, usually the last thing people learn, but the good news is there's only 4 of them in a dollar. So the first one you know is, what's the value of a quarter? 25, exactly. So, and we're about to find out why that's called a quarter. 25, 50, 75, 100. What does a quarter mean? A quarter means the size of the piece that's left when you cut something into 4. There are 4 quarters in a dollar. So count with me again. 25, 50, 75, 100. That's your dollar. Okay, so I'm going to give you a worksheet, and the worksheet isn't going to have you do anything. You're just going to sit there and learn it and practice that, okay? You can watch this video again if you want. But the worksheet is just for you to count along on and write down the numbers next to it, okay? You don't have to figure anything out. Just practice writing the numbers and practice counting the numbers. All right. Bye, guys.